What do we want to build? All right, so first we need to create a virtual environment in Python. This will allow us to get whatever dependencies that we want, so that way we don't have to put them in the system path. I don't have to install those on my actual machine. So now we're in the virtual environment. If you don't know what this is VS Code. It's open source. If you use Cursor or Replit or both, it's this. And this is GitHub Copilot, which is open source, and then you can run whatever models you want. So like Claude, GPT. See, this is Qwen 3 from Ollama. So as you can see, I have Ollama running here. This is Ollama. So Ollama here, I have Qwen 30B running. Right? And these are all the models that I have. So GPT, DeepSeek, Gemma, Qwen. Right? So Ollama is an open source tool that allows you to inference any of these models from Hugging Face. You can run Ollama. When Ollama is running, you have a server running, so that way you can come into here and you can say, I want Qwen 3, or I want Claude, or whatever model that you want. So I'm trying to think of like what I want to vibe code and what people would want to see. If anyone has any ideas that they want to see, let me know. I don't really have too many ideas about what I'd want to build. Thinking something like, I don't know, multi-agent chat platform, some kind of game, um, like an LLM based game or something. I don't know. This is like the hard part now because I don't even know what I want to build. Like I start with a design document and I go through steps and define all the things that I want to build. In this situation though, I'm trying to do this like last week I used Zapier free because I wanted to just show this is what happens when you use the free versions, and this is like, all right, this is what vibe coding is, right? So I can't do a design document. I can't do anything that I normally would do. So YOLO, we'll just build something. Um, don't know what I should do. Let's just ask this what we should build. I named it Vibe Game because I was thinking maybe we can build. Man, look at that. A rhythm based game where players match colors, patterns, and beats to music. That works. An interactive story game where players' choices affect the vibe of the world, color of music, and weather. Chill puzzle game, a relaxing puzzle game like Tetris, but with calming visuals and ambient sounds. Vibe check, social game. Multiplayer game where players guess each other's moods or preferences based on choices they made. Pretty cool. Zen Garden Simulator. A peaceful game where you tend to a virtual garden with different plants and decor. That's fun. I could do that. Hmm. The puzzle game's fun. Like the planting game kind of seems fun too. I don't think that's what we're gonna do. We'll build out. Let's see if we can build out a game this afternoon and just vibe code a game out. I can use Content Buddy to build out the images and yeah, I mean this, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I can definitely do this. Okay, so I like this, the rhythm-based game where players match colors, patterns, or beats to music, and we can compose the music or get music from the LLM, open source music. Yeah, that works. Okay, let's see. Itch.io, folks. Itch.io. This is a great tool. And albums and soundtracks, royalty free. And we want $3.99. 8-bit space music, chip tunes, ambient sound effects. 30 songs in 30 days. See what this is. No thanks. Into town. Oops. 16-bit. $3.99. Oh, dumb dumb. Okay. Juan. Two. 3. 4. So I'm just downloading these into the GitHub folder right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we'll do um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. what we'll do is we'll use the LLM to just build something out, like a Guitar Hero, I guess. All right. And we can just literally just talk to this thing. So we'll just say, do you want to do something like Guitar Hero? And if we just ask it, we'll say, what do we want to do? Build something like this, 10 waves, okay. Like vibe matcher. Yeah. So what this is doing now is it's just asking me, do you want to configure an environment, and just give it the ability to do so. And what I did there is I just selected the Python environment that I installed before. Now you don't have to do this at all. Um, it will create this for you, and if you don't have Python installed in your machine, it will go and download it, and it will tell you how to do that. So in VS Code, you have this thing here called terminal. This is basically like a command prompt that you can run all of your code in, and this is going to Claude 4 when I say this, or Olama or whatever. That is going to actually allow you to build. It's going to go and do exactly what you need. So now this is installing the dependencies that you would be needing to do this game, right? So we're going to create this 5 matcher game, and we're going to say, all right, cool, let's see how we're doing. And this is the thing that's insane about this is like anyone can do this. This is quote unquote vibe coding. This is allowing us to do whatever we want to do. You don't have to worry about typesetting in Python. You don't even know what that is. So now we're 13 minutes in so far, and it's already got basically a game built. All right. So that isn't working properly. So this is key. Then now what we have to tell it is so what we want to do now is we want to say identify each instrument for sound wave. Because it's just going to be playing like interesting. So what it's going to do now is it's going to use FFT or fast Fourier transform. So it's going to determine different frequencies of the song and then going to assign each color to it. So we're going to go through now and it's going to create this. So it played the song and then just kind of flashed the music without thinking about what it wanted to do. So now we want to go through and say, all right, well, that doesn't really do what we wanted to do. We want it to actually flash the different sounds when different instruments are playing. Each instrument is going to have its own sound wave, have its own frequency, so it can isolate each frequency and post the images when that frequency plays. So that's what we're going to do now. And as you can see, I'm not doing anything here. I'm not coding. I'm not. I'm literally talking to the chatbot. Chatbot's doing it for me. Yay. Okay. So now we have a fully working game in 16 minutes. So look what I told it. Like, this is too hard in the circle, and we need to identify the melody and assign it across like Guitar Hero. There is no way to move the mouse and click fast enough for a fast song. So it just not gonna work, right? Okay, no problem. So you just tell it this is the problem. Once you tell it this is the problem, and now it's going to actually go and fix it. You know. And what's insane about this is like we don't need to know what's happening. We don't need to understand how this code is working. We don't need to know any of it. All we need to know is the vibes are immaculate. It's pretty insane, like how easy this is. And this is all free. I'm not paying. None of this is paid. Like this is all open source stuff. Like there's $0 happening right now. There's absolutely no paid information. Like there's no account. There's no server cost. This is just pure vibes. Come on, my kitty wants to come in. You like this? You like this songs? Huh? You like the songs, baby? So 24 minutes, 15 seconds in, and we already have a fully working game. But let's see how far we can push this. So anyone that's like, hey, engineers aren't going to go anywhere, and anyone knows, that's, come on, like, anybody can build this. You can just talk to this thing, and then it will build it for you. Now, is this going to be a production, hardened thing that you're going to want to like put out in the world? No, of course not. But if we're just messing around here and trying to build stuff, so we're just going to talk to it. Come on, kitty. What are you doing? Why do you leave just to come back? So what I did here is I just told it exactly what the problem is. I said, you can't really click it. It's not really working too well. And it's like Guitar Hero only works because it's a guitar and like your fingers are there. Now, if you're trying to click, it's just not going to work. Like you have 7 different ones, not going to work. So keep iterating, keep moving. Say, okay, nah, this doesn't really work out that well. We don't really like it too well. Okay, cool. So it's going to go now and it's going to say, all right, let me build a new UI. And then we'll see what happens. Again, if you've never seen this program before, it's called Visual Studio Code. It's free, download it. There's Olami running in the background, and that's providing me with the model that I've downloaded to be able to actually do this. This replicates what people pay for Cursor, like or Replit or Bolt or anything like that, except that it's free. Super hard, right? And it's like I have to stop myself from coming in and just building this because I'm trying to show this is how you vibe code, right? This is how you can use these tools and let the LLM build code for you. Is this the most efficient way of doing this? Yeah, I mean, if you've never coded before, you don't know what Python is, then you can do this too. Just talk to it, ask it questions, and then you can build your own game. Or, let's see how long this takes me. I think I could probably have this game fully working in like an hour, and then we can build something else, like a social media tool or something, in like the next hour. Like, I think we could probably get 2 or 3 different too fast though. Like it's still not perfect. So what I just said is this is still not representing the melody of the music. We're going to be able to match the music, not just the frequency. So now it's going to add Librosa and Spicy, which are two different Python applications, which are going to allow us to actually determine the music instead of just determining the sound waves. Again, you don't need to know what this means. You don't need to understand what Librosa or SciPy is or NumPy is or any of these things. You don't even need to know what Python is. You just need to know what VS Code, Olama, and Quen or Claude or any of the tools that you want. Again, so Olama is this tool here. Olama, Mac, OS, Linux, run it. And then once you get it running, you're going to get this. From here, you can just select the model, right? So if I selected like DeepSeek R1, it's going to go download a 4.9 gigabyte model. I don't have this model running right now. I have this 8 billion parameters. So this is now going to go to Hugging Face, and this is going to download a 4.9 gigabyte model. And now I can just chat with this right here on Olama. Like, it is that easy. Now, what is the problem? If you're on a Mac, the inference level is going to be super low. If you're on a Mac, you're going to get like 10 to 12 tokens a second. So you're not going to be able to really do anything like super dope. But if you're on a PC or anything with an NVIDIA GPU or AMD GPU, you'll be able to inference at like 100 to 150 tokens a second. So there you go. So this is the same thing as this. If you go to chat.deepseek.com, so if you look there and you look here, it's the same thing. This one is just downloaded on my machine, and this one is a significantly bigger model inferencing on the web. So if you want to be offline, then you can use Olama, and there you go. Thought for 30 seconds. This is going to be significantly faster. Thought for 9 seconds. So if the difference there is this is phoning home to whatever server this is running on. So everything that I put into this chat is going to be given to DeepSeek. Everything on Olama is running on my machine. So I have a 4.9 gigabyte, 8 billion parameter DeepSeek that's running. That it takes 30 seconds to inference. This one is phoning home to China, and it takes 9 seconds. So sure, it's 3 times slower, but it's never going to phone home to any server. Okay, so we'll close Olama, and we'll let this run because I'm going to use up all of my GPU memory. We don't want to do that. It seems like it's actually going to be a pretty fun game too. Like it's not bad. And all of this stuff is open source, like Pygame, SciPy, all that stuff. It is going to come with an MIT or Apache license. And what that means is you can literally build this, and then I can go to itch.io and I can sell this for $2 if I want to. Obviously, I don't want to do that and put my name on this, but you can just, if you have an idea for a game, you can just build it. If you have an idea for software, you can just build it. Let's see if this works. Does not work. So here's what we do. You come here and you see this. You can just copy this and paste this directly into this. So you don't need to know what the errors are. You don't need to know any of that problem. You can just say, what's going on here? And you see here where it's this traceback. Copy this, paste that in here. So there was an issue with one of the plugins, for lack of a better word, requirements. So let's see what it does. Yeah, cool. I can't use that. Let's just say we need to set up a better UI. Like I don't want to start using words. So what we're doing here is just say the UI is just clunky, doesn't really work. So you just say make it better. Now better is going to be subjective, and we don't know what it's going to do. So let's figure it out. So we just say, hey, better. It's not good. It's clunky. You can use whatever words that you want. I literally just said we need to set up a better UI. So in that, it'll say, okay, let's build this thing out. You know, what else do you need from the game? Like we get the score, you get the thing, but you probably need something like a leaderboard or like you know, instructions, that type of thing. But let's see what it does. We're 35 minutes in right now, right? Like to me, that's insane. Like within 35 minutes, we have a fully working rhythm game. Like I don't know what that's magic. So you can see what's happening here. It's changing the colors. It's adding dark gray, light gray. Here's all your colors. Here's your UI background. Here's your panel, your accent colors, success, your warning, your error colors, your game colors. And then you're creating this variable set here that is telling you what to set the UI in. Again, you don't need to know any of this stuff. Like it just doesn't even matter. Like you're just going to talk to it and it's going to create the thing that you want. Like, do we want to know what this is? Sure. If you want to go through this code and learn what this does, no problem. We can definitely do that. But I wanted to showcase literally how easy this is. Like how just through natural language within an hour, you can have a fully working game that will play on a Steam Deck or on, on a Switch or something. Like this on a touchscreen would actually be pretty fun, I think. On a mouse and keyboard, I don't know so much, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. Like we've created 876 lines of code in 30 minutes, and that code actually works. Like we can distribute this as an exe or a .dmg. I can send it out, and you guys can play this game right now. So, you know, when they say vibe coding doesn't work or anything like that, it's just people they're just putting their self worth into it. Why? Oh, yeah. See, virtual. Huh. Oh, huh. Just kidding. So this is kind of like the problem. Um, it didn't activate the virtual environment. It got out of it because it was taking away some of the requirements. So you kind of have to just say what is happening here, and you just have to look to see where you are. Like if you can see right here, you're in vnv.scripts. You don't want to be in that. Much better. Okay. Generally, kind of works. So what we're doing is we're just going through and iterating on this thing and telling it, hey, this isn't actually following the beats that we want. It's only doing frequency analysis, which is whatever it works generally, but you want it to be able to go and actually follow the music so you can kind of replay the song as it goes. But see, here's the issue: is it's going to try to play all of it. So it's trying to play drums, music, it's guitar, all of the frequencies, which is really basically impossible. Like you're a one-man band. So what we need to do is once it follows this, we need to identify the instruments that we want to play, and isolate that out. So we'll play like the whole entire thing, but we'll only grab the strings of the guitar or the lead guitar or something like that. And then what we can do is we can bring other like people in. We can make it multiplayer or something, and they can play the drums. They can make it a rock band versus Guitar Hero. And then what we can do is wait for this. So what did I say? I'm saying the problem is it's the entire scope of all music. We need to isolate either the rhythm or lead or background or bass and use that as the game. All the instruments are too chaotic. So let's see what it does first. Let's see how this works. So we just told it that it's too chaotic and all of the music is too much. So what we'll do is we'll isolate each individual one, and we'll say in the UI we'll say what instrument do you want to play, and then you can say drums or you can say guitar or whatever. I'll play lead guitar, and from there we should be able to isolate that out, and then we'll be able to click on each individual one. Lead guitar, bass guitar, drums, or what else? Let's see how this works. now we're gonna say in the URL, let players select the band member they want to be: lead guitar, bass guitar, drums. And it's gonna be a sycophant. Great idea. Every idea I have apparently is great. Yeah, so it's just added in this method here, which is drummer, bassist, guitarist, keyboardist, and vocalist. No, this may not work, but let's see. Yeah. So it's reading the terminal, so I don't even need to paste this in here. It already sees, because I'm in VS Code, what the error is. So like exactly like I thought, it's not gonna work. There you go. That's better. So now we generally have, kind of a wonky game. Doesn't really work out like we want. So now we can iterate on this, but it's here. And it's like, okay, generally we have a match game. But the UI spacing is all off. All right, so we're gonna go through now, try to iterate on the UI, see if we can move the spacing around, see if we can get clickable areas better, make it just usable. And Chad, don't forget, we're 55 minutes in on this. Like, this would probably take me at least a few hours to build out. Did that overwrite? Let's see. So I downloaded 10 more. Let's see how that works. It could be the songs too. There's a lot of stuff that it could be, but we'll try to see if this works. So I just told it that it's not working as I wanted to, and of course it tells me I'm absolutely right because it sucks. But we'll go from here and see what it does for us. But see, this is the issue that I have with the whole vibe code is if you were on Cursor right now, like we're spending big amount of money. We're spending big money right now for like it's like you can get a working prototype and like send this to a programmer and be like, hey, this is what I would like this to be like. But to try to say that this is a working game right now, although this has only been an hour, so there is that. Like within an hour, we got something that is like passable. Um, is it good? No, of course not. It's not good. Excuse me. Now let's see what this comes up with. 1,200 lines of code. That's insane. See, it's trying to do file name pathing. That doesn't make any sense. Vibe coding. Let's go. Well, I guess if you don't know what you're doing and have no idea what this is doing, like, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This doesn't actually work. See, like, this is the problem here, where it's like, this is saying, this is working, and it doesn't actually work. How can we change this? Now, the UI needs to get changed a little bit. And the music itself, why wouldn't you use Pi Audio in the first place, computer? And this is a big file. This is fun. I guess if you have an idea and this is something like, I want to build this game, you have absolutely no idea how to do any of it, then there's nothing, I guess, wrong with this necessarily, but it's just like, it's kind of boring. maybe we don't want to do that. Real-time audio analysis is extremely complex, especially, yeah. You are right, it is. This is why Guitar Hero took like 10 years and 1,000 developers to build. Now we're going to try to do something completely different and say, all right, now that's not going to work. The click events aren't going to work. So let's see if we can do something where we're moving across the screen based upon the beat of the sound. Which means it's going to have to create sprites and SVGs, but let's see what it does. We wanted the vibe code, right, chat? We wanted the vibe code. This is what we do. See where we're at. Uh-oh. This hurts my head, I think. It's just I don't know. I'm of two minds here. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, even if you do know what you're doing, like the speed in which this happens, like, I'm what, an hour and 15, and I'm already on like V12. But if I did an actual definition and I actually went through and did a build document and actually looked at what I wanted to build instead of just vibing it, then I wouldn't have needed all of those. So I'm at the, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's really weird. Like it really helps. Like if you've done any program before, you have a build document that you can follow. And you say, this is the thing that I want to build. But just sitting down and saying to this thing, hey, let's build something. Like this is the first time I'm trying to do this, and maybe I suck, but it's it's not easy. And what I'm doing right now is not like it's not hard. I'm typing thing, but what's difficult is me like not trying to fix it, not going in and saying what's going on here, like just allowing this to go. That could just remove 500 lines of code, right? Like, okay, uh, see ya. And I'm not doing version control. I'm not doing anything on Git. Like I'm doing what a human would do that doesn't know what they're doing. Pretending I just downloaded all this stuff. Like, but this is why I have the mastermind. To be honest with you, like this is why that exists. So you can come and say, "Hey, I was vibe coding this shit and it doesn't work, or I can't figure it out." And that's okay. Let's figure it out. So we'll see what I can do in 2 or 3 hours, 2 hours, something like that. Like, what can we actually get done? Like, what is it that we can build? I don't even know. I don't even know if we can get anything that actually works. I may have picked something that's really too complicated. You know, music analysis is not an easy thing to do. But they say that these things are supposed to be as smart as a PhD, right? So come on, doctor. For some reason, it's not in the virtual environment anymore. All right, we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now. This is passable. I like this better. The click event wasn't really working. It's starting to kind of dial into what we're building. So we're building like a music rhythm based snake. Okay. It's kind of like a Pac-Man. There's a logic problem. Oh no, logic problem. What are we gonna do, robot? What are we gonna do? Ay, ay, ay. Logic problem. Beat the snake. Fiona, you like this game? Yeah? You could build this better, I think, Mom. I think so. All right, so now what we're going to try to do is create the zones only when the bass hits, so it's like the beat of the game, and that way we're not trying to, like on 120 beats a second, it's going to update every 10 milliseconds. It's never going to work. So like we should just follow the beat of the bass, so that way the zones show up as the bass hits. Let's see if that works. And then I think I'm going to try to do is add some kind of danger to this. So like when I'm just now doing game design, but fuck it. When you get the cyan ones, like there's some kind of like speed boost or something that happens. Like, yeah, you should get it, but if you get it, then there'll be a problem. We'll see. We'll see. This is fine. This is fine. Very different from the original idea. But again, I didn't have an idea, so I just sat down and said, let's make a game, which is probably the worst way to do this, to be honest. So we'll drop the hertz down to like 60 or 100. Mid bass and low mids. So we really want bass, no treble. All about that bass. No treble. You're absolutely right. Oh, it's so annoying. If anybody actually likes that, like, why? And this thing just keeps telling me I'm amazing, but making this garbage ass game. But actually, I think this may actually be fun. I think like now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, this actually may be fun. Because you're playing Snake, and Snake is one of the best games ever. Like it's so much fun. But this is like Yeah, like what happens if you don't have a microphone? It's doing real time microphone instead of analyzing, which is weird. Like every if you sneeze like that, excuse me, if you sneeze, it'll go off. Hold on. I know, Vivid, bro. I know. Hi. We're vibe coding, Fiona. We're vibe coding. I know. That's what we're doing. We're building a game. We're not doing shit. We're watching the robot do it. We're getting there. We're getting there. So what we're doing now, we're just kind of iterating on this, and we're going through and saying it doesn't really feel connected to the music. It doesn't feel like a music game. It feels just kind of like snake game in the background with these weird patterns. So we're gonna try to iterate on this, and I have a couple of ideas for how to make it like better. Specifically, adding some danger to it, or some risk reward, which is what games are all about. Yeah, that works. So instead of trying to get into the red zones, we're trying to avoid them. And the red zones are matching to the music. We need to get the cyan pieces, and yeah, that works. I actually think that would be a fun little game. If I can get the music to work correctly, like actually like show up with the music, then yeah, I think that that adds risk reward. The randomness of it means something, and you got to avoid these things. So yeah, that makes sense. So instead of trying to chase all these things around, like you're looking for the cyan ones only, those give you points. If you get into the big red ones from the base hits, that'll do damage to you because base will do damage, and then yeah, 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 2 hours. See, I'm going up and down on all the emotions with this vibe code and shit. Like it's interesting. You can make a fully working like 10 different versions of one individual game, just iterate over and over and over, and it's like I had no idea what I was starting 2 hours ago. I just sat down and said, "All right, I'm gonna vibe code something." And I'm gonna go put it on Steam for free. But this could actually turn into like a decent little fun little game. Avoid the base. Yeah, so now we're going to change it so that way it's an instantaneous red base hit and it doesn't fade away. They go away every time you grab a cyan one. So if you don't grab the cyan ones, you'll eventually just die because it'll overrun you. Let's see what we got. All right. Just get more music right now. All right. All right. 2.5 hours, and we have a fully working game. That's fun. I mean, that's I think that's not bad. Let's see. Let's see. Very cool. What do you think, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed that. Vibe coded something in a couple hours, 2.5 hours. We have a fully working game. I think if I put another like 5 or 6 hours into this, I think that's something like actually worth playing. So hopefully you had fun. I learned a lot, and yeah, let me know. Hit me up.